Hello, and welcome back, YouTubers. This is Protomario, and today we're reviewing the Super Game Boy. Now, this was an attachment that hooked onto your Super Nintendo, and it was pretty big. It exceeded the size of a regular Super Nintendo cartridge by probably 1.5 times, and allowed the slotting of a Game Boy game. Let me tell you how difficult this thing is to get to work nowadays. At some point in time, you have to think one or the other slot isn't working. It's not just one thing. If your Super Nintendo works, and you know it works, that's good, okay? But then you have to think about, does my Game Boy slot in my Super Game Boy work? Or does my 72-pin connection work on my Super Game Boy? And then you have to start looking at 4 things instead of just 2 things. So, this was a great option if you were a kid and you didn't happen to have a Game Boy and you wanted to play Pokemon. You said, Ma, I want a Game Boy, I want a Game Boy. And your parents said, what do you want a Game Boy for? You got a game system right there. We just bought you a Super Nintendo. We're not buying you a Game Boy. Well, that's fine. All you had to say was, I want a Super Game Boy. And they say, what's that? Oh, it's just a game. Come on, Ma, can I get it? And they say, oh, alright, we'll get you the game, but we're not getting you a Game Boy. And that's how you were able to play Game Boy games. You were also able to play them on your TV, as you can see here. So, we'll be continuing my Pokemon Yellow game. My name is Dr. Pokemon. And you can have a look at my Pokemon. I have Charlie, the Charmander, Pikachu, Nidos, a Nidoqueen, Bulbs, an Ivysaur, and Nidos, the Nidoking. Now, with Pokemon Yellow, they really revamped everything that Blue and Red kinda did, but they just sold it as the same type of game. Just an update as the graphics, something kinda like Super Mario All-Stars, but they also gave you the option for Pikachu to walk behind you. Something that Soul Silver does nowadays. A very nice addition that Soul Silver made, but back in the day you didn't have that option. So the Super Game Boy works just like the Game Boy would. You use your joypad on your controller. Use A and B just like if they were on the Game Boy, and start and select if they were just on the Game Boy. Though the Super Game Boy is not a Super Game Boy Color, which means you cannot play anything but original Game Boy games in it, and you have this nice little border around your game as to not overly stretch the image. As you can see with certain games, here Pokemon Yellow is incorporated into the Super Game Boy, making it a nice little background for you. Other Pokemon games have unique backgrounds, as well as Mario games and Zelda and Metroid. If it is just a generic game, you can choose your own border and background to play with, which is nice if you just don't like to watch monochrome green screens and you would like to see some color. Then buy the Super Game Boy for your Super Nintendo, and you can play your old Game Boy games too. So I'll go ahead and review Pokemon Yellow while I'm at it. Though this game is sold in the same type of product here, this is a wonderful Pokemon game. A very nice addition to any Pokemon trainer's library, or if you're just a Pokemon fan, you will definitely enjoy this game. Oh no! Bellsprout seems to be putting a whooping on Charlie. I'll have to call him back. Critical hit! So as you can see, this is an older style game. As you can see, it's so old that things aren't even sorted in the bag, honestly. All the items are lumped together, and The Pokemon are almost the same as well. The models have been upgraded a little bit, but the enemy trainers have not. So, pretty much what you're paying for is a better looking Pokemon. Which, if you have no problem with that, then go ahead and pick it up. Not really sure what that was about, but hey, you know. Speaking more on this game, if you're a Pokemon fan and you grew up with Pokemon, Pokemon Red, Yellow, and Blue are definitely the games you remember most. Or maybe you got into it a little bit later. Pokemon Silver and Gold would be the more familiar ones to you. So let's go ahead and kick some butt, huh? I'm gonna go ahead and set Nidos to the front, since he's my strongest Pokemon. In this game, you defeat Team Rocket and the leader Giovanni, which you discover that the 8th gym leader is actually Giovanni, and he is secretly the leader of Team Rocket. Oh, despicable plot twists. I know, crazy. So I'm gonna fight the hiker again. This time, perhaps the power won't go out when I use such a powerful move. Oh, noes. I don't have too many good moves. That's okay, I'm still a powerful Pokemon. Machop's Karate Chop is deadly. Though the Pokemon animations may be weak at this point in time, they were pretty fun back then. You could raise them, you could trade them with your friend. It was all good, man. You could even link up and battle your friend. Something that we do take granted for nowadays. Even though we do have Wi-Fi, do remember back in the day you actually had to buy a link cable and hook your Game Boys together and know somebody that physically played this game with you and trade and battle them. If you could not get that, then you had to buy 2 Game Boys yourself and trade yourself to get them all. Dr. Pokemon defeated Hiker. Dr. Pokemon got 525 yen. Hi, Dr. Pokemon. In this game, the differences are purely cosmetic, with the exception that you are able to get the first 3 Pokemon and train them all up also. Something very nice, and also something that is not commonly found in the Pokemon games nowadays, though you can trade for them, making it less unique. Take the horn. Take the bull by the horns, Rattata. Rah! The Game Boy player is an excellent pickup if you find yourself wanting to play some of your old Game Boy games and not wanting to stare at that black and white or green screen. If you happen to have a Game Boy Advance, a very fat one, not the backlit one, you can play your Game Boy games in that one also. It is fully backwards compatible. However, the newer Game Boy DS and Game Boy Micro are not. As for the SP, I also believe that is backwards compatible, but you cannot be too sure. So guys, this is the Game Boy player and it works perfectly. As you can see, it does exactly what my Game Boy would do, and it is fully backwards compatible with all the games offered on Game Boy. If you happen to want to take a trip down memory lane and play Metroid 2 or perhaps Zelda, the Ballad of the Windfish, maybe you want to take a look at Red, Blue, and Yellow, or maybe you just had a special Game Boy game that hit home and you dug it out and you wanted to play it, check into some Game Boy, Super Game Boy.